Hey Gemini, welcome to your September 2025 astronumerology reading. And we're going to start with the energy from the numerology standpoint. September is the ninth month in the 9 year. Consider a definitely spiritual year in terms of learning lessons. So the ninth month is when all of those lessons come to a head, lots of endings, lots of changes. It also is about Sagittarius energy because Sagittarius is the ninth constellation. And it is about Jupiter energy because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Therefore, in your natal chart, wherever Sagittarius normally falls, which for you is your seventh house of contracts, partnerships, and things related to that area. That area will be highlighted for you. So when I speak about all of these energies that are floating around, whenever an energy interacts with that Sagittarius, wherever that may be for you today, that's you're going to have an extra impact. The other thing for you is that, of course, Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. So Sagittarius is in your seventh house. Pisces is in your 10th house, which is career. So you might see some of this energy go and do some changes in those two areas, right? So the partnerships and contracts can be relationship, of course, definitely marriages and things of that nature, but it's a long-term commitment, so it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage. It could be a partnership or a contract related to the purchase of a big business investment, right? But it's still about those things that tie you or bind you to something. So and I have both your charts open, your natal chart, the natal Gemini chart, and the actual September 2025 chart. So I want to mention that the major energies at play are there's so many energies, but there's the Venus energy with Mercury and K2, and then there's a Saturn and Rahu energy together at different points. And so as we move along looking at your astrological calendar, those energies are going to move into different houses. As they move into the different houses, you're going to have an effect. So we're going to start out with initially the Venus energy is closer to your ninth house, which the ninth house is Sagittarius, right? But in this case for you, it is Aquarius. So it is the Aquarius energy in your ninth house where the Venus energy is sitting. And the Venus energy is sitting there at the beginning of the month, and it's going to stay there for a little bit, probably a week or two in your ninth house. And then the Mercury energy, which rules Gemini, is actually in your 10th house, right? That's where the Pisces energy is hitting. The Jupiter is in the Pisces and it rules that Pisces energy that's there. And then the K2 is definitely the cusp between your 10th house and your actual 11th house, which is Aries. So right now you're going to have influences from Pisces in your career sector, that 12th house. And then that means that sometimes your 12th house might have some turbulence, right? Might have some things end. And and then let me correct that and say your 10th house with the Pisces energy might have some turbulence and some endings. You might decide to change careers at this time. You might decide that something you were doing at the job doesn't necessarily fit you well. And maybe you're going to go and do a different role at the same company or with another company. The other thing is the Aquarius energy that I spoke of. Aquarius normally considered like innovators, but in this case, in the ninth house, it would be like innovators of uh, health, right? So if you work in a healthcare related field, maybe you're going to come up with a unique approach to some health issue that's out there. It's possible that, or you might be thinking about a unique approach to your health and how to improve it and how to make it better. This might be a time of learning more, expanding your knowledge in that area. Again, this is the start of the month, so that means it's not going to stay there. Venus being in that area means that whatever you do in that ninth house area, innovative way of learning, maybe you're going to go to school in a new way, maybe you're going to do hybrid education, but whatever it is, you're going to be drawn to it and actually like it on multiple levels. Let's move forward. So as the energy moves, you have the Saturn and the Rahu energy, which it is going past your fourth house, which is Virgo, also ruled by Mercury, right? Mercury energy is there. Mercury, you're a ruler, but this is again paying attention to the details, and your fourth house, which is the house of home, right? So some things might be a little bit slower at home if you have a project. You have a project like you were trying to add on to your house or make some changes to your house or anything like that. It may go a little bit slower than you expect this month, or you might decide to let go of the project altogether and start something new because the energy is things may come up. You know, if you're doing something, you might find they take a panel down and find something behind the wall. And now it takes, added month or so in order for you to get the project done. That's the kind of energy that's there with the Saturn and Rahu together. Moon is there as well. And just so you could, just so you know, there could be some water damage just popped into my head. So that's probably something to pay attention to. Internally as well, pay attention to your health, always with any of this, to get your health checked. It's a good time to do that whenever you have some activity in the home area, because you don't want to be stuck at home in the bed because you're not taking care of yourself. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Okay. Living in the RV, 2 points. All righty. So next, let's keep going. Your energy keeps moving. Venus and Mercury. Venus is impacting Taurus because it's of course, following with the Taurus energy. And Taurus is I like to call like a steady Eddie energy, right? Taurus likes to make a plan, likes to work, likes to grind it out, likes to have things set up, but then it can also be a little bullish, right? Can be a little stubborn. So you have to be careful, especially because there looks like at around the 11th, when Venus is close to impacting your seventh house and your sixth house, you may be a little bit stubborn when it comes to the contracts that we talked about, the partnerships that we talked about. You might see things your way or want to make you happy and not do what's best for the team. Or if you're in a partnership, you have to do what's best for the partnership. And you might be a little bit more into what makes you happy. There's a cautionary tale there. At around the same time, you're going to have this really interesting energy that takes place in the first quadrant, and that is going to be in your first house and your fourth house together. So that is your body and your home together. And there's a little bit of some Aquarius and Scorpio energy kind of meeting up. And Scorpio, in essence, can bring about health, um, debilitating things, kind of like setbacks. And then the Aquarius energy, which Aquarius can be an innovator, which can sometimes mean that there might have to be a new approach to whatever health is going on, maybe a new treatment or something to that effect. Again, you would have to contact a medical professional in order to determine what that means for you, because based on whatever you have going on. but that issue may become more apparent around the 11th. Remember, if you follow any of my videos, everything that I say with dates is normally 3 days. It's like normally the day before, day of, or the day after. Um, and that will show up at that time. The other thing about the Aquarius energy is that the Aquarius energy is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn itself is also at that time associated with Rahu, brings about more secrets. So you can have more of a secretive kind of nature to whatever's going on in your health. So that's why it can, become apparent at that time. It's a good idea to go see your healthcare practitioner and find out more about what's going on with you. And then as we move on, looking for anything interesting with you. Around the 19th of the month, you have the Mercury energy, of course, right? Gemini ruled by Mercury showing up in your sixth house, which that's where the eight is, the Scorpio energy. It's your natural sixth house. So you will have another impact of the Mercury energy at that point. And when we want to talk about the Mercury energy in general, Mercury energy is more of an external energy. So it's a communicator, a kind of thinking energy, a mind energy, but it's heavily tied to external resources. So in your sixth house, mainly dealing with health, there may be some external resources, something outside of yourself. So that means you might have to look at going to see someone else to discuss whatever might be going on in that area, right? There might be some competition going on, and you might have to go deal with someone else. You might even change your diet at this time. You could have some issues with your abdomen area. And if you are an employer, you could also have some issues with like your employees or servants or people of that nature. Those are external things that could be occurring. If you're into sports, you could have some type of issue getting hurt with playing sports. So you have to be careful. And remember, this is all energy. So this is the energy that's there. So you just have to watch out for yourself. As we move on, we have the Saturn, the moon, and Rahu get together around the 28th. Let's go back. That started around the 26th of September. It gets together at your fifth house, your the cusp of your fifth and your fourth house, which your for you that your fifth house we know is children, right? The fourth house is home, fifth house is teaching and things of that nature. Fourth house definitely family and stuff and things related to that. And there's a need for balance in the fifth house, and that will become apparent. But again, it's one of those things that you might come up with a plan of how to balance things and make it better, but it might take a little bit longer. For you, the main thing about this month is patience because it looks like you're going to have some delays in some plans and projects that you have. Keeping in mind that you also have that nine energy that's there. And the nine energy is about letting go. And one of the things that you might need to focus on letting go of is the need to have things done in a specific order in a specific time because the energy is maybe not necessarily going to allow that the way you need for it to or you desire for it to allow it to happen. And let's go further. Okay, so that's it. Let's see. One bit of energy to watch out for at the very tail end of the month is when Mercury and the Sun get together in your 10th house. And getting together in your 10th house, the natal Pisces for you, um, Mercury, of course, a youthful kind of energy. The sun is more an old type energy, a wise person. It might be time to seek wise counsel at towards the end of the month regarding something that you would like to do with your career, whether it's changing careers, whether it's being promoted on a career, whatever it is, whether it's going back to school for a different education or enhance your education, might be a good time to seek the counsel of someone outside of yourself, someone who's been in whatever field you're in for a long time. They may be helpful. I can see also the contract issue coming to a head, and that's that's September 30th to the first week of October. So be careful with any contracts that you're signing this month. And let's look. That's it. All right, so that's all I have for you, and I hope this helps. Bye.